Good morning, people. Hanging out in my basement doing some stretching, getting ready to work out. And I wanted to talk to you guys about New Year's because New Year's resolutions are on everybody's mind right now. And my intention is to help you guys get to your goal this year. Like, let's really do it. Let's really get to the goal. And a lot of times people, when they set these goals out, they focus on the goal. And the goal, it's either get in shape or maybe it's save money or start a business, whatever it is. We focus on the goal. We don't focus on the work it's going to take to get to the goal. We like to focus on getting in shape. Well, you can't wake up today and get in shape. It's not going to happen today. You're going to have to do some activities. Let's see if we can get a better angle here. My finished basement. But to get there, the activities are what's going to make the biggest difference. Getting up every day at 5 a.m., that's an activity. Now, the things that got you here aren't going to get you there. And the work is the part that everyone wants to kind of skip. They want the shortcut. They want the part where they can kind of shift their. Maybe I could take a special supplement that'll make it easier for me to get results faster or whatever. The fact is, most of that stuff is garbage. People spend their money when they don't want to spend their focus. People spend their everything instead of just focusing on the work. And the work is easy. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's simple. It's not easy. To get up every day at 5 a.m. and make the time for the gym, or 4 a.m. or even 3 a.m. if that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. And if you're comfortable, you're not growing. And if you're growing, you're probably uncomfortable. It's just the dichotomy of the two. Now, the work itself isn't the fun part. The achieving is. And, the only place that work comes before results, the only place that results come before work is in the dictionary. That's an old saying. Any of you guys watched Full Metal Jacket, they also said if you're looking for sympathy, look in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. Good line. Point is that everybody today has a little bit extra fire. And the truth is, having the goal is important. The end game. And you'll get there if you stay focused on it. Sometimes people veer off the path, though, because they stay focused on that far out end game goal. And I'm here to tell you today that the daily activities are going to be what actually gets you there. The getting up in the morning, the working out, if it's a professional goal, the making your calls, the going on your appointments, the follow-up, doing the work. Now, I'd love some questions from you guys. If you guys have things on your minds, I'd love to help. A lot of people, they're getting into fitness right now, and they're focusing on the working out. I want to make sure you guys know, too, that the dieting is really, and I don't want to say it's more important than the working out, but it's at least as important. And honestly, if you were going to focus on one more than the other, focus on the diet, because it's a lot easier. It is easier to work out, to show up in the gym and work out. And you'll see those people in the gym that they're regulars at the gym. Like, they look like they work out all the time, because of the weight they're pushing and how they're, able to do it with ease, but they don't look the way they want to look still because they're not dieting. I did that for a while, and, I got stronger. And I felt better. And that was maybe that's what I had to do. Maybe at first I had to focus on just getting size, big size. And I ate, pretty much whatever I wanted to. And I got stronger. But then when I really started to measure the calories in and calories out, that's when I really started to look the way I wanted to look. And it's just as simple as downloading MyFitnessPal or Spark People. They're free. And I'll tell you once, I'll tell you 1,000 times, before you even change your diet, just take a baseline measurement of what you're doing. Go in there and write down everything you eat for a day. It's going to be eye-opening. You're going to go in there, you're going to write down, 6 beers and, whatever it is you ate that day. You're going to see what it did. Compare it to budgeting. If you were trying to save money and you wanted to save money, would you even attempt to do that without having it written down how much money you spend currently and how much money you save currently and how much money you make currently? You got to know where you're at before you can go figuring out how to get where you're going. To come up with a plan in and of itself, you got to know where you're starting. So figure out where you're starting with your diet. Start working out. You can't change everything at once today. You can't all of a sudden today, New Year's Day, I'm going to have the perfect disciplined diet, the perfect workout regimen, and I'm going to be able to sustain it for a long period of time. You're going to have to start with something. One thing. If it's working out, great. Work out and eat the way you did last year for a few weeks. See how it goes. But do one thing different. Write it down. Put it in MyFitnessPal. Put it in Spark People. Put down what you're putting in your mouth. And if you write down every single item of food or drink that goes in the mouth, you'll at least be able to measure it. Because if you can measure it, you can then manage it. So you might find you're eating 5,000 calories a day right now. Okay, cool. Go to the TDEE calculator. Total daily energy expenditure. It's free. If you go to Google, type in TDEE calculator and put in your numbers accurately. Figure out where you're at, how many calories a day it takes to be you, just to be you. It might not be 2,000. It might be more. It might be less. How much of a caloric deficit do you have to put yourself in to lose weight? My suggestion is don't overdo it. My suggestion is sustainable results over time beat a flash in the pan and somebody who, shows up and goes hard for 3 weeks and then never shows up again. And that's unfortunately the most common thing we find with New Year's resolutions is we find people who want to show up, go hard, ham, and then they burn out. Because they weren't being sustainable in the first place. There's no way they could ever sustain that pace yet. Make your goal to grow into the kind of person that can sustain a pace like that. Do it slowly so that you don't discourage yourself from doing it. And people they want to start off already as someone who's good at this, right? You want to walk in the gym and be the guy who's been going to the gym for 10 years already. If you stay going, you will be. Be cool with being the new guy. Be cool with the fact that you're going to be sore. Be cool with the fact that there's people in the gym that are absolutely going to be stronger than you and make you feel bad about it. And they don't even have to try. When I was new into working out, as I came off a little hiatus in like 2013, and I came off the hiatus and I was not in the shape I wanted to be in, and I didn't feel strong. And I went in the gym and I felt like shit there. But then I started to run my own race. And at first it was just walking. I was 270 pounds in 2013. 270 pounds. Right now, as I sit, I'm like 185, and I'm in really good shape. That was a long time ago. At first, all I did was walk on the treadmill for an hour a day. I would get up, I would go to the treadmill, and I would walk for an hour. And that's all I did. And then, when that got easy, I added in some weights. I lived in an apartment complex at the time. And the apartment complex had this gym that was like attached to it, and it had like a couple treadmills, some dumbbells that went up to like 40 pounds, and it had an exercise ball and a bench. And I think it had like a couple of little weight machines, but no, the place was no bigger than this room here. it was literally like about this size, and show Instagram too. This size room with like a couple things in it. And I used that until it wasn't enough for me. And then I graduated to LA Fitness. And when I went to LA Fitness, I started to progress into this routine that got me to where I am today. But it didn't just go from zero to this. It went from zero to the guy that could walk on the treadmill for an hour, to the guy that could lift some weights, and then eventually the guy that trained some jiu-jitsu, got into real good core strength doing jiu-jitsu. If you guys haven't heard, jiu-jitsu is awesome. And it really helps you get into shape. Again, though, the diet. You got to diet. You're not going to get what you want unless you do. You're not going to grow if you're comfortable. And if you stay in your food comfort zone, you're going to just stay the same. Stay away from sugar. That's really what I found for my body. Sugar. Carbs are good. Fats are good. Proteins are good. I'm not a nutritionist, but I can tell you from my own experience that when I eat sugar, I don't like the way I look as much as when I don't. And when I don't eat sugar, I really like the way I look. Drink a lot of water. Take your meds daily. Meds, MEDS, meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. The most underused fat burner is sleep. Getting enough sleep promotes fat loss. You're going to have more energy for your workouts. You're going to be able to burn more. And you're going to recover better. And recovery is what it's all about. Now, when it comes to, sustainability, the diet, you can't crash that. You can't go eating 1,500 calories. Like 1,500 calories, unless you're like 5 foot tall and 100 pounds, go to the TDEE calculator. Find out what your body needs, your personal body. It is not a one size fits all option. You need something unique to you. Find out what it is. Write down a plan to get you what you need every day. Nutritionally, get enough sleep, get enough water, and take care of this. Take care of your mind, because you can think yourself into almost anything. You can think yourself into health. You can think yourself into wealth. You can think yourself into being sick. You can think yourself into being sore, and you can think yourself into not being sore. Your brain is the most powerful transmission power in the world. The energy doesn't come into the brain. It goes out of the brain, and it reflects back to you in reality. That's deep shit, but it's real. And when you're taking care of your mind and you're taking care of your body, all of a sudden your life gets a lot more fulfilling. Your body gets a lot more healthy, and you start having opportunities to do things you might not have ever thought you'd have opportunities to do. Guys, I did it. I went from 270 pounds with a job I hated and a relationship that I was in out of fear, frankly, and wasn't serving me, to having the cajoons to put myself in a situation to make myself so uncomfortable. I left that old life behind all at once. And it took a while to prepare to act. When I made that move in April of 2016, when I made that move, that was a hard move to make. That move involved leaving a marriage where I had it easy, right? Easy can be good. Easy can be bad. And if it makes you feel bad, then you've got to get yourself out, and you got to get yourself independent. That's what I did. I got myself out. I went to a 1-bedroom apartment. I had no money. I left with no money, and I still ate healthy because I went to Wegmans and I got frozen chicken in the frozen department, the pre-cooked stuff that you can microwave. I got frozen vegetables. It was cheap and it was easy, and that's what I did sustainably for like a year. I did it for a long time. It's easy to do something hard for a day or a week, but do it for a year and watch what happens to your life. Do the hard thing for a while, long enough to really kick in. And if you do it long enough, hard enough, eventually it gets easier. But you have to make yourself uncomfortable first, because the things that you were spending your focus on before got you here, where you feel like you need to set this goal. You feel like you need to set the goal because your daily activities up to this point got you here. Now that you're here, let's choose some different activities to do with our days. And you're going to have to take the focus away from the old activities. The stuff that got you here needs to go away, and it needs to be replaced with activities that are going to get you there. And that's also something that's very uncomfortable. All of these things are a lot more uncomfortable than working out. Outgrowing relationships that aren't serving you is hard. Tracking your food that you're putting in your mouth and your drinks that you're putting in your mouth and recognizing what that's doing to your goals, results, that's hard. Telling your friends and family that nurtured your toxic lifestyle is hard. If you have friends and family that want to nurture your old behaviors, the ones that made you feel like you wanted to set a new goal, if they want to nurture those, they want to keep you right where you are. I've said the bucket of crabs thing so many times, but if you haven't yet Googled it, Google bucket of crabs. Guys a lot smarter than me put out videos a lot better than mine about bucket of crabs. And it's just picturing, and it's true. I find out it's actually true. If you have a bucket with crabs in it, live crabs, you don't even need to put a lid on it because the crabs keep the crabs in the bucket. They don't let them leave the bucket. It's like, no, you're staying in here with us. And that's what your friends and family are going to do to you when you start making massive changes. When you start getting healthier and wealthier than your friends and family, they're going to bucket of crabs you. They're going to keep you in because that's their comfort zone. You're ruining their comfort zone. You're making their atmosphere more uncomfortable because you're creating a loss for them. They are experiencing grief and a loss because the person who would engage in the toxic behaviors, the eating of the whatever, the drinking of the whatever, the spending the minutes sedentary on the couch doing nothing, whatever you guys were doing that got you to the point where you wanted to set a new goal and change your life, those crabs are going to keep you in their bucket with them. They're not going to want to let you out. So you're going to have to be tough. You're going to have to choose yourself. You're going to have to be selfish and choose yourself. And people are going to call you selfish. And as a man, that's the worst thing too, because when you're a man and people call you selfish, it hits a little different. I find that, when women do things for themselves, start to choose themselves, leave the relationship. When they leave the relationship and find happiness, everyone claps for them. And that's cool. I clap for them too. But guys, men, when you choose yourself and you choose to pursue your goals and you choose to control where you put your focus, people are not going to clap for you the same way. You're going to have to clap for yourself. And you're going to have to find a group of people who are going to clap for you. They're out there. They're harder to find, but they are out there. And I'm one of them. So, guys, if you're going to really do it this year, and you're going to choose yourself over the crabs that want to keep you in their bucket, if you're going to choose your health and your wealth over what was comfortable, I'm the guy that's going to clap for you. Stay here, subscribe, like my videos. Let me know what's on your minds. And I really want to be a part of your success. So share with me where you're at. Share with me where you're going. And good luck, guys. And you know what? Hard work beats good luck. So work hard.